Okay, in this video we're going to subtract mixed numbers using borrowing. Okay, and here's page 1. We'll just do an introduction and some examples. And page 2 is these 4 examples. Page 3, just this example. Page 4, these 2 examples, and page 5, find the difference between these numbers. Okay, so we'll start with page 1, and we just want you to draw 3 circles the same size, and we're imagine there are 3 pizzas. So here's one circle, here's another circle, here's another circle. So please draw those. Okay, put a dot in the middle of each circle, in the center I mean. Okay, alright, now just put a line down here and here like that. So get to there. And now we're going to split it into thirds. Okay, so we're cutting these circle pizzas into 3 pieces. So they're Tonys, they're not that big, right? Small pizzas, right? Okay, so we've split them into thirds. Now, what I want to make sure we all completely understand is that we have 3 pizzas. So I'm going to represent the 3. I'm going to imagine the pizza is like 1, like the number 1. So 3 pizzas is the number 3. So we have 3 pizzas, the number 3, right? How many thirds is 3 equal to, for fun? How many thirds can I get out of that? 3 equals what over 3, in other words? Well, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 thirds. Agreed? So just for fun, it's equal to 9 thirds. Another way of looking at the number 3 is you could say 3 equals 2 whole, or let's say 1 whole pizza. Okay, this whole pizza, right? Plus how many thirds? So 3 equals 1 whole pizza. 3 pizzas equals 1 whole pizza. For fun, if you imagine you didn't split that one up, and then how many thirds besides? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? 6 thirds. That makes sense, doesn't it? Okay, and you know that can be written. 1 plus 6 thirds can actually be written like this as a mixed number: 1 and 6 thirds. Can't it? Yep, that's correct. Another way of doing it is just for fun. This is just to really get our brains into thinking about this. 3 is equal to 2 whole pizzas plus what? Plus how many thirds? So imagine you didn't split these 2 up and you just split this one up. So it's 2 whole ones plus how many thirds? 1, 2, 3. Agreed? And as a mixed number, how can you write that? Do you have to put the plus sign there? No, you can just write down 2 and 3 thirds, right? Okay, so that's that, and that's something we're not going to need to do. So let's take some square pizzas, okay? And we'll imagine they're big, although of course they're not big on your page. But we'll just draw 3 square pizzas just for fun, okay? Okay, so I want to split these guys first of all into halves, right? And now we'll split them into quarters just for fun. So we'll do that. So they're all split into quarters, right? And now just for fun, I'm also going to split them a second time. Split them up and down like that, okay? Right, so how many pieces is that now? We just split it into 4 and then we split it again, so that's got to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So these are big pizzas, we're splitting them into 8s, okay? So every pizza gives you 8 pieces, right? Imagine. So the number 3, my question to you, is how many 8s? How many 8s how many little pieces have I actually made altogether? So I mean, because I'm going to imagine that each pizza is 1. This is 1, this is 1, this is 1, right? So if I add them together, that's 3 wholes. So 3 wholes now have been split into how many 8s? Definitely 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Another 8 is 16. And 16 plus 8 is? It's got to be 24, right? Okay. So imagine that I only split these two up and I kept this one whole. So 3 equals 1 whole plus how many 8s? One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Another 8. 8 and 8 is 16, isn't it? Write that as a mixed number. 1 and 16 eighths, right? And 3, imagine I kept 2 of them whole, so 2 whole pizzas plus, so these 2 are kept whole and I just split this one up. Okay, so I didn't split these, imagine I just split this one up. So it's 2 and how many eighths? Write it down. 2 and how many eighths? 2 and 8 eighths, isn't it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 eighths. And write that as a mixed number. 2 and 8 eighths. Okay? Obviously, 8 over 8 is 1. I mean, we just have 2 plus 1. 2 and 1 is 3. 16. What's 16 over 8? That's just 2. This is 1 plus 2, isn't it? 1 plus 2 is 3, right? 24 over 8 is what? 3, right? Anyway. Okay, so I hope we're getting the hang of things. Anyway, if you think about money now, okay? Let's imagine you have $4. $4 equals $3 and how many quarters? How many quarters? 3. You can take your $4 notes and split it into just having 3 quarters and how many, or $3 and how many quarters? 4 quarters, right? So do this. Let's say if you had $9, that's equal to $8 and how many quarters? Well, it's got to be $8 and, write down, 4 quarters, right? Let's say we want to get dimes, tenths. A dime is a tenth of a dollar. So let's say $2 equals $1 and how many dimes? How many tenths? 10 tenths, right? Or how about $7? That's equal to $6 and how many tenths? Once again, 10 tenths, isn't it? Okay, so just to understand, this is the first one of the steps we're going to have to make when we're using borrowing, and so we're hopefully not confused. So imagine if I wanted to do 8 take away 3 and 3/5. There's a little problem there. I mean, 8 take away 3 is 5, but I still have to also take away the 3/5. Okay? So just go ahead and try and do that right away. In fact, what I'd suggest is for you to press pause and just go ahead and try and solve this by yourself. How would you do this? Go ahead and guess. Go ahead and figure out some way of doing it. 8 minus 3/5. Okay? Press pause and do it yourself. Okay, now I hope you're ready. I'm going to do it. And there's a different ways of doing it, but one way of doing it is to take this number 8 and say that is equal to 7 and how many fifths? 7 and how many fifths? 7 and? Well, 7 plus 1 is 8, or 7 and 5/5. Does that make sense? That's just what we were practicing earlier, right? 7 and 5/5 is the same as 8, isn't it? Okay, now I'm going to subtract the 3 and 3/5. Okay, so I'm just going to subtract 3 and 3/5 and see what I get. Okay, so I've borrowed. Going from 8 to 7 and 5/5 is called borrowing. Turning one of the units into 5/5. So 7 minus 3, of course, is 4. And the 5/5 will subtract the 3/5. 5 minus 3 is 2. So 2/5. And then that's the answer. 4 and 2/5. Right? Okay, how about this guy? 13 minus 4 and 7/10. Press pause and try it yourself. Okay, now I'm going to do it slowly. And I'm going to turn the 13 I'm going to borrow. So I'm going to go 12 and how many tenths? Or in other words, $12 and how many dimes? $12 and 10 dimes, isn't it? Same thing, right? And I'm going to subtract the 4 and 7 tenths. Okay, now of course 10 is greater than 7, so I can subtract this, can't I? Right? So 12 minus 4 is 8. 10 minus 7 is 3. So 8 and 3 tenths. Or $8 and 3 dimes, and that's the answer, right? So $13 take away 4 and 7 dimes leaves you with $8 and 3 or 4 and 3 dimes, right? Yep. So how about this guy? 6 1/4 minus 4 3/4. Okay. This is interesting. 6 minus 3 is 3, but 1/4 won't subtract 3/4 because this is bigger. So we have a problem. Now, with this one, go ahead and press pause and see what you might do. Because if you come up with it all by yourself, that's the best way, because it means you'll definitely remember. So press pause and see what you might do with this. Just mess with it, play with it, and see what you come up with. Okay, I hope you're ready now. I'm going to do it now. So, one way of doing it is to take the 6, and just forget about this quarter for now. Just take the whole number 6, and turn the whole number 6 into 5. And how many quarters? Now remember, I'm forgetting about everything else. I'm just taking 6 is equal to 5 and what? How many quarters? 4 quarters, right? And I know to use quarters because everything is in quarters here. So the 6 1/4 becomes 5 4/4 and the 1/4. Does that make sense? This whole 6, because the 6 turned into 5 4/4, but I still have to add on 1/4, right? So my point is that whole thing now becomes 5, and then if I add these quarters together, 5 5/4. Does that make sense? The whole 6 1/4 becomes 5 4/4 plus the 1/4, which is 5 5/4, right? That makes sense though, doesn't it? Because if you had $6 and 1/4, that would be equal to $5 and 5/4, wouldn't it? You would change one of the dollar bills into 4 quarters, and you would add that to your already 1/4, and you would have $5 and 5/4, right? You're just getting change. You're borrowing, or you're getting change, you could call it. So now I'm going to subtract the 3 3/4, and everything will be hunky-dory, because 5 will subtract 3. Okay, so 5 holes minus 3 holes is 2 holes. 5/4 take away 3/4 is 2/4. And that worked. Now, is that the final answer, or can I do something else to simplify the answer? Do I need to simplify that? Yep, that's 2, but look, 2/4 becomes 2 into 2 goes once, 2 into 4 goes twice, 2 1/2. So I've got to put my answer in lowest terms if needed, right? Now, by all means, press pause and do this guy by yourself, and then check the answer. Okay, it's really beneficial to figure these out for yourself. So press pause and try it. Okay, now I'm going to try it. I have 4 1/6 minus 2 5/6. 4 minus 2 will give me 2, but the problem is 1/6 will not subtract 5/6, right? So I've got to do some borrowing or getting change or whatever you want to call it. Now I'm going to take this whole number 4 and I'm going to get some sixths out of that to help me subtract the 5/6 over there. So the number 4, and forgetting about everything else, if I just look at the number 4, okay, the number 4 is equal to 3 and how many sixths? 3 and how many sixths? Isn't it 3 and 6 sixths, right? But, okay, so 4 and 1/6 is 3 and 3/6 plus this 1/6 as well, isn't it? Making, I can add the 6 6 and 1/6 is 7/6, isn't it? And I still have the whole number 3. So 3 and 7/6, okay? And I'm subtracting 2 and 5/6. Well, that's going to work now. 2 and 5/6. Watch this. That's going to work, isn't it? 3 minus 2 is 1. 7/6 minus 5/6 is 2/6. And is that the final answer, or don't I always have to put fractions in lowest terms? Always have to simplify your answer as much as possible. So you got to put that in lowest terms. What's that in lowest terms? 2 into 2 goes once. 2 into 6 goes 3 times. And I have 1 and 1/3. Yep. Okay. So move on to page 3 now. And on page 3 I have this problem. And the difference is now that I don't have the same denominator. Uh-oh. So my first step is going to be what? And by the way, by all means, press pause in the video and play with this and see what you come up with. Okay? Try and figure it out for yourself. There's a challenge for you. Figure it out for yourself. See what you get. Okay, now I'm going to give it a go. Now, the first thing I'm going to do before anything else is I'm going to make the bottoms the same. I'm going to find a lowest common denominator. So make the bottoms the same. I guess I'll just write that down. I don't know any other. So the first step is make bottoms same. Or you could say, use the lowest common denominator, or whatever you want to call it. Okay, and then the second step is going to be the same as everything else. But make the bottoms the same. So my point is, okay, this is fifths, this is tenths. Now, what's a common multiple of 5 and 10? What's the lowest common multiple, or lowest common denominator? It's 10, isn't it? Because 5 goes into 10, and 10 also goes into 10. So to turn a 5 into a 10, I need to multiply it by... multiply it by... 5 times what gives 10? 5 times 2, right? Multiply the top by 2 as well, though. So I'm going to start out by having 10 and 2 tenths minus 3 and 7 tenths. So that's the first step. What you need to notice as we go through math is that laying things out nice and neatly is half the battle. I mean, if you make one mistake in math, you're wrong. And so one of the things you need to learn, and I hope these videos are going to get you to practice, is writing things neatly, step by step by step. And if each step is correct, your answer will be correct. Okay? So that's part of the challenge. Okay, so now, hold on a second. Okay, 10 minus 3 is 7, but hold on a second. 2 tenths will not subtract 7 tenths, right? Now, at least our bottoms are the same, so that's a good thing. But now I'm back to problems I was doing earlier, haven't I? I have the same denominators, that's good, but 2 won't subtract 7, so I've got to borrow from the 10 or get change from the $10, right? So forget about everything else now, and $10 gives you $9 and how many dimes? $9, so if you're getting change, $10 is $9 and how many dimes? 10 dimes. Okay, I got change, great. But I also have to add on the 2 dimes, don't I? Because 10 and 2 dimes is the same as $9 and 10 dimes plus the 2 dimes, which gives $9 and how many dimes? 12 dimes. So 10 and 2 dimes is the same thing as $9 and 12 dimes. Now that makes sense, doesn't it? Right? And now I need to subtract the 3 and 7 dimes. So I'm going to put that underneath there, because that's going to work, because look, 12 is bigger than 7, right? So it's going to be subtract 3 and 7 dimes. Okay, this is going to work out great. So 9 minus 3 is 6. 12 dimes minus 7 dimes is, or 12 tenths minus 7 tenths is 5 tenths, isn't it? And am I done? Or can I simplify the answer? That is equal to 6 and simplify 5 tenths. Put it in lowest terms. 5 into 5 goes once. 5 into 10 goes twice. 6 1/2. Yep. So the final answer is 6 1/2. So step by step by step. The first step was we made the bottoms the same. Okay. Then we got change, or we borrowed, or got change. I don't know. Whatever helps you remember. Okay. So that was step number 2. We got change. Step number 3 was, you know, we subtracted. That we just carried on with subtracting. So for the other ones we just had to borrow and then subtract. The most complicated it's going to become is the first step. You'll have to make the bottoms the same, or find the lowest common denominator. Then you'll have to borrow, and then you'll have to subtract. So lowest common denominator, borrow, subtract. That's your 3 steps, right? Alrighty, so let's have a look at the next page, page 4, and I have 7 1/6 minus 2 2/3. Now, which is bigger, 2/3 or 1/6, and which is smaller? Which would you prefer? 2/3 of it? I mean, which would be more food? 2/3 of a pizza or just 1/6? 2/3 is more, isn't it? And 1/6 is less. So I can't subtract. I can't go 1/6 minus 2/3 because this 1/6 is smaller. So I do have to borrow. But hold on a second. I have a problem. Look, my denominators are different anyway, and so no matter what, I'd like you to follow these steps. It's going to be the easiest thing of all is going to be following these steps. And the first step is to just go ahead and get a lowest common denominator. Make the volumes the same, right? So I want to, and so just ignore the ignore the whole numbers for now. Just make the bottoms the same. So I've got 6 1/3. What's the lowest common denominator, or the lowest common multiple? Let's see. It's got to be, well, 6, right? 3 goes into 6, 6 goes into 6, right? So I already have 6 here, so 7 1/6, that's fine. Okay, 2, and now I just have to turn these thirds into sixths. So what do you multiply 3 by to get 6? 3 times 2, right? And also multiply the top by 2. So 3 times 2 is 6. 2 times 2 is 4. So 2 4/6. Okay, so great. First step is done. I have got lowest common denominator. Now I'm going to borrow, because look, 1/6 won't subtract 4/6. So I've got to borrow, or get some change from the 7. Okay, so go ahead and do that. 7 equals 6, and how many sixths? 6 and 6 sixths, right? But I also have the 1/6 to add on, right? So the 7 1/6 becomes 6 6 sixths plus the 1/6, so that is 6 and 7 sixths, right? And now I can subtract this guy. Subtract 2 4/6. What does that give me? 6 minus 2 is 4, right? 7 minus 4. 7 sixths minus 4 sixths. 3 sixths. Yep. And can you simplify that answer? Can you put that fraction in lowest terms? 4 and 3 into 3 goes once. 3 into 6 goes twice. So I've got 4 1/2. Okay. Let's have a look at this guy. 8 1/4 minus 5 1/3. By all means, press pause. Try it yourself. See if you get the same answer as me. Or you can race me and see if you get it before I do. Or you can just... I'll go as slow as possible to give everyone a chance to learn. Okay. Now, hold on a second. No matter what, I don't have the same denominator. So, I mean, that... Like, I'm going to make the bottoms the same no matter what. Just so I can totally compare these fractions together, right? So I'm going to get a lowest common denominator. Now I've got quarters and thirds. So if I look at the multiples of, say, 4, 8, 3 doesn't go into 8, 12, does 3 go into 12? Yep. And of course 4 goes into 12, right? So 3 times what gives 12? And 4 times what gives 12? Well, 3 times 4 is 12, so multiply this guy by 4 over 4, and he becomes 5 and 4 twelfths. Right? I gotta subtract him. Now, this guy, you're gonna multiply him by what to give 12? 4 times what is 12? 4 times 3, right? And multiply the top by 3 as well. Okay? So this is, of course, 8, and 1 times 3 is 3, and 4 times 3 is 12. 8 and 3 twelfths. Now I can clearly see what I've got. 8 minus 5 is 3, but look, 3 twelfths subtract 4 twelfths. Oh, that's not going to work, right? So I do need to borrow. So if I get change from the 8, or borrow, I'm going to have 7 and how many twelfths? So just forget about everything else. Just look at the 8. 8 gives you 7 and how many twelfths? 7 and 12 twelfths, right? And you've also got the 3 twelfths plus 3 twelfths. So this whole thing becomes 7 and 12 twelfths plus 3 twelfths, which is 7 and 15 twelfths, right? And I've got to subtract 5 and 4 twelfths. Okay? So do you see how important it is to be write neatly and just go step by step by step and give yourself lots of space? Because if you make a mistake here, you know, the whole thing is wrong, and you don't want to do that. Okay? So if you're going to do something, you might as well do it right. Just be nice and neat. Take your time. So 7 minus 5 is 2. 15 twelfths minus 4 twelfths is 11 twelfths. And can I simplify the answer? Go ahead and simplify that if you can. Well, if you can, you know more than me. I can't. That cannot be simplified further, right? So it's 2 and 11 twelfths. Okay, so last page is find the difference between 3 and 1/8 and 1 and 1/6. So please press pause and try that yourself. Okay, so difference between means we need to subtract. We need to take the first number and subtract the second number. So 3 and 1/8 minus 1 and 1/6. Okay? Now, we don't have a common denominator. So nothing is going to work with subtracting fractions until we have a common denominator. Okay? So let's find the lowest common denominator. And between 8ths and 6ths, so by all means press pause and try and get it. Okay, now I'm going to give it a go. I'm going to write down multiples of 8. 8, 16, 6 doesn't go into 16, and then 24, right? Does 6 go into 24? Yep. And of course 8 goes into 24. So there's my lowest common denominator. So what do I multiply 6 by to get 24? 6 times 4, isn't it? Right. Okay, so this 1/6 becomes 4 24ths. Okay. On the 8ths then, how do we turn 8ths into 24ths, right? So we're going to turn the 8ths into 24ths. Times it by what? Times it by 3, right? So times this guy by 3 over 3. So 1/8 becomes 3 24ths. 1/6 becomes 4 24ths. And then just fill in the rest of the problem, the whole numbers. Okay. So of course 3 minus 1 is 2, but 3 24ths will not be able to subtract 4 24ths. So now we know whether we need to take the next, for sure, whether we need to take the next step and borrow or not, or get change. Okay, so or you could have saying that look, 1/8 is smaller than 1/6. I mean, but you can certainly see that now. And you definitely need to borrow. Okay, so we're gonna borrow or get change from the 3, and that's gonna be 2 and how many watts? 2 and 24/24, right? So it's about taking your time and just write everything out. You don't be afraid to. Writing more is usually better than writing less. I know some of you guys will like to do all this in your head, but if you make one mistake in your head, then you get the wrong answer and you get no points. So if you're going to do something, you might as well make sure you're doing it correctly, especially when you're taking the test. You know, so it's a good habit, and you'd be surprised that you'd actually save time. I know I'm talking slowly, going slowly, but writing it out carefully will actually be faster in the long run than writing it out quickly, or than skipping steps and trying to do everything in your head. Okay. Anyway, so we've got 2 and 27/24, then minus 1 and 4/24. Okay. Now 2 minus 1 is 1. That minus that is 23/24. Does that simplify? No, so that's the answer.